Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. I hope everyone is doing well. We're almost at the end of Game Week 28 now, with only 8 teams playing in the up-and-coming Game Week 29. Today, we're going to be looking at a free hit and how to really kind of attack the blank Game Week 29. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily FPL content. Hit the like button if you do enjoy the video, and let's get straight on into this one. So I've already gone and put some players into the draft here. These are the kind of template players who I think you should kind of definitely be building the team around. Now, normally I'd go for a team that's kind of between 102 and 103 million, but I think with this draft you're going to have a lot spare, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, in the back line we've got Creswell, Dunk, and Dallas. Creswell, I think, is just, he's an essential asset until the end of the season, picking up 7 attacking returns, well, picking up 7 assists so far this season, picking up plenty of bonus points, and it's just a great asset. Dunk playing against Newcastle, you could well go for the double up on Brighton defence, which we will come onto, but I think that Dunn looks pretty good and does have a bit of attacking return, as he did show last week. Dallas has probably actually got one of the highest haul potentials out of any player in this team. He plays against a Fulham side who, they can defend, but they can't really score. So I think Dallas is good for a clean sheet and could potentially be pretty good for an attacking return as well. We've also got Rafinha in the midfield playing for Leeds against Fulham. He's looked really, really hot of late, just hasn't quite kind of got the finishing touch, got the finishing pass, got the finishing goal, I guess, and put the ball into the back of the net. But he's really, really good of late, and so he's definitely due some attacking returns and is on the radar for a captaincy for this week. And then obviously the big man up front, we've got Harry Kane. He's the one player who I can say 100% is essential for this game week. So for the rest of the team, I guess we'll start off in the goalkeeper spot. In terms of goalkeepers, there's kind of 2 or maybe 3 that I'd really be going for, depending on which teams you want to attack. I'd probably be going for Leeds against Fulham, as I think that Leeds probably stand a higher chance than Fulham in keeping a clean sheet. Yes, Leeds are quite leaky at the back, and Fulham, they're really scrapping to try and get out of relegation at this point. So I think that potentially Areola could be a good shout, but if you're going for Leeds attackers, then I feel like Meslier is a better shout there. Or you can target the Brighton versus Newcastle game, go for Dubravka or go for Sanchez. I personally am going to put Meslier in there, but as I say, you can go for either one of Sanchez or Dubravka. That would be absolutely fine. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to lob Sanchez in there against Newcastle. I think that Brighton, they're going to be scrapping for this game. So are Newcastle. I can see this being a 0-0. So you could well go for just, a Brighton defender and a Newcastle defender. Just cover both bases. One team may end up nicking it 1-0, but I don't see it being a particularly high-scoring game. But as you can see there, I've got 2 goalkeepers. You can, even with this free hit draft, just lob 2 goalkeepers in there because you're not going to need both. But if anything does happen, at least you've got a spare goalkeeper. In terms of the rest of the defender spots, we'll come on to a little bit later how you can really utilize those. I would, however, like to put the main man Tierney in there. I think that Tierney looks like a really, really good option and although you may want to go for a kind of attacking asset for West Ham, Tierney can easily go and pick up them attacking returns and has just looked very, very good of late. One thing I will say though is for Arsenal players for this game week, wait until the Europa League fixtures have been completed. Arsenal, to be fair to them, have been looking a lot better defensively of late, with Partey in there, with Gabriel in there, with David Luiz in there. They're looking like a strong outfit, and obviously Leno at the back with Cedric really coming through as well, and Tierney at left back. Arsenal look like a pretty strong team at the moment, but to be fair, West Ham are also a very good team, and I think Creswell, Tierney, they can both be in there for their attacking returns, and if one of them does keep a clean sheet, that's absolutely great news. In terms of the rest of the midfield spots, I think I'm going to go for Aubameyang here, to be honest with you. A potential captaincy option. We do have to watch out and see whether he is actually going to play. He went and got benched because he turned up late against Spurs. But I do think, that can almost be considered as a rest for Aubameyang because he'll be playing in the Europa League. He will be playing against West Ham. I'm pretty sure of it. And could go and absolutely smash it. He will be on penalties if he is playing. And I think in terms of kind of premium options and a way to really attack this game week, Aubameyang's probably one of the best differentials that you kind of got at your disposal. It's a player who's got a good opportunity to score and a player that also not many people are going to own. So I do think Aubameyang is a really good one to target for this game week. In terms of the rest of the midfielder spots, I would be raving about Son right now, saying he's absolutely essential for this game week, but he did go and get himself injured. So what we're going to do is a kind of 1-for-1 move. We're going to go for Gareth Bale, but Obviously, he did come off on the 56th minute and didn't actually look too great against Arsenal. So he is definitely one to watch out for as well. If he gets plenty of minutes in the Europa League game, maybe he isn't one to go for. And maybe the likes of maybe even a Jesse Lingard, even a Lamella could be one to go for. Although, I don't really like Lamella, to be honest. I'd probably be going for Gareth Bale as a kind of the second Spurs attacker, or not going for a Spurs attacker at all. Honestly, for this game week, 5 at the back may actually be the way to go, just because the kind of teams that are playing don't really have too great of attacks. You know, you've got the Newcastle versus Brighton fixture. You can see that being a pretty dry game. The Leeds versus Fulham, I think that's going to be a scrappy game. You know, Fulham are really going to be trying to hold in there. I think that, you know, Leeds are really going to be pushing for it, but whether they'll get it over the line, who knows? So that could be kind of a low-scoring game as well. Or, you know, we could see one of those where everyone predicts that it's going to be a really high-scoring weekend, a really low-scoring weekend, and it turns out to be really high-scoring. In terms of the rest of the midfielder spots, I actually think it's okay this week to take a massive, massive punt and put Grealish in there. He's due to be back from injury pretty soon. But, you know, if he doesn't play, then you can just have bench players in there to just come on, I guess, if Grealish doesn't play. Obviously, he's got that red mark on him, but I do think that if he is available, he will definitely be playing. He was kind of rumoured that he might be back for the previous game, but he was ruled out for that one. He could be back for this game, so I guess in my opinion, I just don't see any reason why he shouldn't be in your free hit team. You know, if he plays, great. If he doesn't, just have a bench option, because with this team, you're going to have so much money in the bank, basically, to be able to just have a bench option. And kind of with that being said, I also don't mind a punt on Callum Wilson up front. Now, yes, we do have a few Brighton defenders. However, if Wilson is cleared to play, then I think that potentially I'd maybe be going for one less Brighton defender. So I wouldn't be necessarily doubling up on Dunk and Sanchez, because they're really going to try to push Wilson back for this game. So he could be another great option as well. Obviously, with the likes of Wilson and Grealish, you know, they're both injured at the moment. They both may not play, but there is no harm in putting them in your team just in case they do end up playing, because you'll be sat there thinking when they start, you'll be like, you know, why have I not at least gone for it and put them in my team? Wilson was on incredible form before he got injured. So was Grealish. So personally, I would literally just be putting them in my team just in case they came back from injury. And then you can also have some quite good bench options, which I'll come on to in a second, that you can replace them. Actually, talking of, I think for the third spot, or even maybe the Wilson spot as well, would be Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford came off with a dead leg against Chelsea. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it was actually that bad. I literally do think it was just that, a dead leg that he wasn't able to run off. They do have a very, very kind of quick turnaround between that Chelsea game that they just played and the Fulham game that happens on Friday. So it's a tough one. I mean, if I hadn't said what I said about Wilson, I think you've basically got to decide that Wilson or Bamford spot. Pick with one of those and then go for a third attacker who's definitely going to play. So if we get the news that Bamford is cleared and is ready to go, then obviously Bamford becomes that third attacker. As he's not, I really don't mind any kind of punt from like Mapai, Antonio, Watkins, any of those. Honestly, as you're on a free hit, and as I think you are able to really kind of take risks for this game week, because most people aren't going to have that extra player. You know, if you have the likes of Mapai, no one's else going to have him, but it doesn't really matter if he doesn't do well, because even if he gets 2 points, you're still up on the majority of people. So I'm actually going to go with Mapai there. You could go for Trossard in the midfield, as he went and grabbed himself a goal. I do like Mapai though. We haven't really seen kind of Trossard get back-to-back returns. If he does, then could be one to go for. Yeah, with a lot of this, I kind of wait and see what's going on. I really do like the idea of kind of just having Wilson, Grealish in there, you know, just in case they end up playing. I actually genuinely do think that Wilson does stand a good chance. We've still got 11.9 mil in the bank, so I still think you can bring in some pretty decent players. We've got the likes of Saka, we've got the likes of Lingard. You could even, as I say, go for the likes of Trossard, maybe a Lamella, someone like that. I know I didn't really say I liked him that much, but you could go for an absolute punt on the likes of Lamella. You could even go for a double up in the Leeds midfield, the likes of Rafinha and Harrison. Harrison looks pretty good as well. He's kind of been scoring a decent amount of points so far this season. I don't actually mind the 5 at the back for this game week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that last defender spot with Lascelles. I'm trying to think, are there any other big actually, you know what? I actually do think that Reguilon for Spurs, if he does play, could actually be a very decent option because he gets so far forward. And really, out of the rest of the defences, there's no one that really screams to me, to be honest. You could go for a Fulham defender or you could go for a Fulham attacker. You know what? Just to appease a lot of people, I think I'm going to lob Lookman in that final spot because I know a lot of people are going to be looking towards Lookman. So you could bring in Lookman as a player to kind of come off the bench if Grealish, Wilson do not play. But personally, I think I'd more be leaning towards the likes of Jesse Lingard, maybe even a Saka, although Lookman is much more likely to play a full 90 minutes than Saka is. But for the most part, I think this is kind of a decent setup. Obviously, you know, I've gone pretty punty with the Wilson and Grealish Pai in there as well. I think Aubameyang is, you know, probably one of the best punts you're going to have this week. And then, as I say, Kane, Rafinha, Creswell, Duncan, Dallas are really kind of the main guys I'd be building off from. And then from there, it's just kind of make it your own, do what you want. But yeah, that's what I've come up with, and I hope this has been, you know, reasonably helpful, if not just a little bit. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this quick little free hit video, the kind of template. As I say, you can be really punty for this game. Let me know down in the description if you are thinking of hitting that free hit button. Hit that like if you have enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button if you're new around here for daily FPL content, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.